Hello, it's Mrs.Z. Today we're going to talk about division with area model. So let's try to use some problems. For example, how about 4,752 divided in 8 groups. Okay. Um, Division is very hard topic for students, especially if it's about using some strategies or even standard algorithms. So at this time, we're going to use area model and we're going to use open rectangle first. So how to start? On one side, I will write what I have. Division is sharing. So we're going to try to share as much of this number in that area in connection to the 8 groups that we need to share. So if I make this line, that will be the number that I'm going to divide into. And then I'm going to make open area. I'm not going to close it because what the goal is to take as big chunk of a part of this number and enclosed in this area. So the 8 times what? It's really going to give it the closest number to 4,752. So this time you can use a kind of thinking strategy. So I'm making this as in a bubble like this. So 4, I'm not going to think about whole number. I'm going to think about just 4,700. And then when I think about, that will help children to think only about 47 instead of this multi-digit number. So 8 times what is really close to 47. So you can start 8 times 4, 32, 8 times 5 is 40, 8 times 6 is 48. So 48 cannot work, but definitely it could work 5. So I can think 8 times 5 is 40. So I'm good with that. But what would be 8 times what? Will close to 4,700. I just needed to add these two zeros. This strategy could help students to think what number could I put right above in my area. So definitely I can use 500. And then now I will know what 8 times 5 is 40. And then 8 times 500 is really adding these two zeros because this is 500. So if you think this 8 times 5 is 40, but then you have to multiply by 100. So that means 40 times 100 is you gained two zeros when you multiply by numbers multiples of 10. So now I'm okay to close this area. So I'm going to do that. And I have share 4,000 of this number. So now I don't have that no more. So I have to show it by subtracting. And then I like to use precision. So 2 minus 0 is 2, 5 minus 0 is 5, 7 minus 0 is 7, and then this one. So I have left 752 now to share in this area. I can extend my open area model. And then now, instead of thinking instead of thinking 752, I can think just a 700. Or I can think 75. So then I can think about 8 times what is really close to 75. So 70 doesn't work this time. So you have to explore with the numbers. What if I try, if I know multiplication, I'm going to do 750. So I can think of 8 times what is really close to 75. So if I say 8 times 8 is 64, 8 times 9 is 72. So that will work. 72. So that means I can do, I'm going to, so if I have this number to think about, I can say, okay, 8 times 9 is 72. So I can use that, and I will take off 720 if that doesn't confuse you. So now I can put here 9. And that's not 9, because if you say 8 times 9, that's just a 72. But you need to get close to 750, so you need to add that 0. So that's what really gonna give you 8 times 90. 8 times 90 is 720. So 8 times 9 is 72, and then times 10 is 720. So I can close this area now. I still have more, so I'm going to keep extending my area. So minus, now I give away 720, and see how much is left. Now I have 2 minus 0 is 2, 5 minus 2 is 3, and then 7 minus 7 is nothing. So now I have only 32 left. So I'm thinking 8 times what is 32? And I know that is 4. So 4 times 8 is 32. And I can close my area. And there I share 32, and then I have nothing else to share, so there is no remainder. So when I divide 4,752, and by using area model, I create open rectangle, and I think what is 8 times what, that makes bigger chunk of that number, then I will get rid of, like I will subtract. So then I will say, oh, 8 times 5 is 40, so 8 times 500 is 4,000. So I can subtract, and I have left over. Now I'm dealing with 752, and I'm taking also 8 times what is really close to 75, and that is 9, but I need a 700. So 8 times 9 is 72, but 8 times 90 is 720. So when I subtract 720, I have 32 left. So to share, so 8 times what was 32? That was a 4. So now I know that I share all, and this is the answer for my division problem. These numbers together are my answer for my division. So 500 plus 90 plus 4 is the answer for this division problem. Okay, maybe I did choose a big number, but that's the kind of, I don't know, I just choose that one. We can do smaller one if you like. We can do something with also 8, but like we can just do 475 instead of 4,752. All right. So that was, let's see, what it would be if I have that just like 475 divided into 8, what that gonna look like. Okay, so the same strategy. I put the whole number 475 on the side. I'm gonna keep subtracting how much I put in, I shared in my area. So I'm going to open rectangle, and so I'm taking this, I'm thinking of 8 times what is really close to 470. Like I'm taking this, just 470. So I can say, oh, 8 times 5 is 40. So 8 times 5 is 40. So I need to multiply by 50 to get close to 470. So my answer here is 50. 8 times 5, 8 fives is 40, and times 10, I am allowed to add 0 because this is multiplying by 10, numbers gain 0. So 8 times 5 is 40, and then 40 times 10 is 400. Now I can close the area, okay, and then I can extend and see how much did I share. I shared 400, so 5 minus 0 is 5, 7 minus 0 is 7. I have 75 left. 8 times what is really close to 75. So 8 times 9 is 72. So I can share 72. And then this is like a 4th grade, because right now, when I share, I have 3 left over. So I cannot share equally in 3 in 8 groups. So this is my remainder. So that would be leftover of 3. So the answer should be 59. And then I can show my remainder as like little 3 squares on the side. This represents remainder. So the answer is 59, remainder of 3. Remainder of 3. So 59, remainder of 3. Okay, that's another smaller number with the remainder. And then let's move to the next one. I have several. I was thinking to do as many as I can, so then you can get comfortable for doing the area. So how about if we do now 9,162 divided into 3. Okay. I usually don't put comma, but I will in case. So the strategy starts this way. You make your open rectangle, and it needed to be divided into groups of 3. And then I will write my number on the side. So 9,162 minus. So I'm taking 3 times what is really close to this number, because 3 and 9 are there's 3 threes in 9. I can just see that I can use that multiplication facts to help me to figure it out how much of this I will subtract. So now I'm taking, instead of 9,162, I'm just gonna think 9,000. So right now I'm 3 times 3. 3 times 3 is 9, but it's not 3 times 3 gonna give me 9. I need 9,000, so 3 times 3,000 will give me 9,000. 3 times 3,000, it's 9,000. So I needed to put here 3,000. And 3 times 3,000 is 9,000. I can close this part of area, and then I can subtract 9,000. I give away. Okay, so 2 minus 0 is 2, 6 minus 0 is 6, 1, and so now I have 162 left to share. And I can think of 160 or 16. 3 times what is really close to 16. So I put thinking over there like 160. And 3 times what is close to 16. 3 times 6 is 18. 3 times, so that doesn't work. 3 times 5 is 15. So I'm very good, close. So 3 times 5 is 15. And I also need to add 0. So it would be 3 times 50 is 150. So I'm going to share 153 times 50 is 150 minus 150, and then I will get 2. 6 minus 5 is 1, and nothing. So left is 12. After I close, I'm going to extend my area, and I'm going to close this one. Now I have not 3 times what is equal to 12. So 3 times 4 equals 12. And then when I subtract, I have nothing left. So I am already done. And then I can find what my answer is. So I divide 9,162 into the pot, and my answer is 3,054. So I really like when students are doing addition so they don't make mistake. So there is no hundreds. So when they place value, add correctly, then I can take my highlighter and add, and that will be, oh, sorry. My air condition is 0 and 3. So answer is 3,054. So 3,054. Okay, now let's do one more. These were kind of like a 4th grade dividing by one digit number. We're gonna try maybe one more of two-digit number division. So let's see how that's gonna work. Okay, so I'm going to move this, and I think that's enough room. So this is, just excuse me. Let's use just like 6,800 divide into 16 in groups. So we're going to use again this area model. So we're going to put on the side 6,800 and we'll subtract as much as we are putting in our open area. So this we will have 16. So 16 and what will make us the greatest number take off from this. So now you can think, because it's hard for kids to think how you can do this, you can think about 68 and then how many 16s are in 68. So you can do 16 on the side, that's one. Okay, if I add one more 16, that will be 2. So I'm adding groups of 16. It seems like I'm guessing how many 16s are in 68. 6 plus 6 is 12. Remember 1. 10, that's 32. So I'm not close to 68. I'm going to keep adding 16. So that's 3, 8, 48. I can do more, 16. That would be a fourth one. I'm adding 8 and 6 is 14. And remember 1 and close that. I like to make sure that I don't forget this number. So 4 plus 1 is 5, plus 1 is 6. And I got closest I can get, 64. So this is practically 4 times 16 is 64. So 4 groups of 16 are 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 groups of 16 is makes 64. But now I know that I can use here. Remember, we will go by 4, but it's not 4 times 16 is 64. So if I look and add this, I'm trying to do 6,800. So I needed to add these 2 zeros in order to make, so it's a 400 times 16 is going to be 6,400. So it's a 400 that I need to multiply. So 16 times 4 is 64, and times 100 is 6,400. So now I can close that area and I can subtract how much I share, 6,400, and then it will give me leftover only 400. So now I have to think 16 times what is close to 400. In this case, I'm just going to think how many 16s are in 40. So I look back there and I can see there is 48 here, so that I have to stop on 32. So that means that only two 16s are in 40. So 2 16s are in 40. 2 times 16 is 32, but I need it to be in 100, so it has to be 3 16 times 20 makes 320. So now when I close that, okay, I share 320 0. Okay, all right. I can subtract 2 from 0, so I have to regroup. Make 3, and this becomes 10 plus 0, 10. So 10 minus 2 is 8, and there is a leftover 80. And then I need to think now, how many 16s are in 80? I already have that 4 16s are in 64. So I just can add another 16. That will be my fifth. And then 6 plus 4 is 10. Remember 1. And now 1 plus 6, 7 plus 1 is 8. So I've got my answer. There is 5 16ths in 80. So I can extend my area, and my last digit is 5, because 5 times 16 is 80. And then this is my answer for, so 400 plus 20 plus 5 is, how much is 6,800 divided into 16 groups? It's 425. You have to understand, kids, when it's division, for example, this number 6,400 plus 320 plus 80 has to add up to that big number right there. And so it could check, you can check if you did correctly. If you did and add the numbers inside, they have to add up with your, because that's what you were sharing. You were sharing this big number, 6,800. So when you add this plus this plus this, it has to add up to that, and it is, okay, plus 1. So now that is 8, and then 6, and that is 6,800. So now you can check your work. Maybe I could do one more, and then we will stop. It's pretty long. All right. Let's see if we do this one. It's 3,264 divided into groups of 24. So on the side, 3,264, and then make the area. Okay, dividing into 24. So 24 times what is really close to 3,264. So what can you think? Thinking box. Okay, thinking box. It's 3,200. I am thinking, okay, if it's 32, I have 24. I only can have 124 in 32. So I have to really think about, what can I do? I can, there is 124 in 32, but it's really, I can go with 100. So 24 times 100 is going to be 2,400. Okay, so it has to be 100. So 24 times 1 is 24, and add 2 zeros, 2,400. And I am very close how much I take off. So I took off 2,400. I like to do okay line to make it correct. Subtraction. 4 minus 0 is 4. 6 minus 0 is 6. And then 2, I can take 4 from 2, so I'm going to regroup thousands and make this 10 plus 2 is 12. 12 minus 4, 6 plus what makes 12? So 6 plus 4 is 10, plus 2 is 8. So 8 and 4 makes 12. 2 minus 2 is, so that's 864 left. Now, you can think also how many 24s are now in a 86, or I can think 860, because that's the number I need to reach. So if you add on the side 24 and 24, that's 1, 2 24s. That is 48. I didn't reach yet for 86, so I can add another 24. So that's 3, 8, and 12. Remember 1. That is 5, 6, 7, 72. So I cannot go to one more 24. And so I have to stop in. So there is 3 24. 3 times 24 is 72. So that's what I needed to go with 30, because 24 times 30, 24 times 3 is 72, but 24 times 30 is 720, and that's the closest to that number, 860. So 20, it's going to be 30. So 24 times 3 is 72, times 10 is 720. I'm subtracting 720. And then I will extend my area a little more. Okay, so that's 4. 6 minus 2 is 4. 8 minus is 144. So right now I have here 144 left. So what number times 24 will give me 144? I can use my strategy by adding. So far I have 3 24s. So I'm going to just keep adding 24. This will be a fourth one. And I'm going to add, that's 96. That's not closed yet. So 24. 6 plus 4 is 10. Remember 1. 9 and 1 is 10. Plus 2 is 12. Oh, did I did correctly? Yes. Okay. And then 24. That would be 6. And that is perfect number. Oh, sorry, you can see that. Okay, so what I did is add 24. 1 group, 2 groups, 3 groups, 4 groups, 5 groups, 6 groups. 6 groups of 24 makes 144. So when you look that, it's a perfect number. So what is going to be is 6. So 24 times 6 is 144. And then I can close my area, and I'm done with this. So here is my answer. 100 plus 30 plus 6. That is how many groups of 24 are in the it's 136 groups of 24 in 3264. Um, so if you want to check, that would be that you can check in a different ways, guys. Now the area model is connected, multiplication and division is connected. So when you have numbers inside, that means you have division. You have this, you add these numbers together to 2400, 720, and 144, and they have to add up to the 3264. Let's see, 4, 6, 2, remember 1, 3226. That's exactly. So these numbers divided by 24 are going to give you a number on the top, 136. So if you happen to not have, you have numbers inside, and then you're looking for what are these numbers. But if you have that problem, 136 times 24. So this is multiplication. The outside number by the are your multiplication, and inside when you add them, those are division problems. So how are you going to check if your answer is correct? You can say 136 times 24 must equal that number. So that we can check. If you want to check with standard algorithm, you can do, or you can do area model, and it will be the same, because if I check with area model, I want to show you how that looks similar. Like if I need to do 136 times 24, I could do 100 and then 30 and 6, and I'm going to do 20 and 4. I'm just going to break down even 4. Okay, so now I have 136 times 24, and then I have my areas, so I can prove you how the multiplication is connected to division. Okay, so 2 times 100 is 2000. 20 times 100, sorry, it's 2000. 20 times 30 is 600. 20 times 6 is 120. 4 times 100 is 400. 4 times 3 is 12, and times 10 is 120. 4 times 6 is 24. Now, when you have this is 2,720, and this is 520, 544, 544, and I add them together. They should be exactly 3,264, which is exact number. So 3,264. Okay, so this is division problem. So you open area and you figured it out the numbers that you're gonna put in the inside of the boxes. And if you like to check if your answer is correct, you're going to multiply your answer by 24. You can do that with area model, but the number is going to be same as the total, the highest dividend. All right, so that was Mrs. Z, and I'm sorry if it's too long, but I try to help you with the area model of division. Use area model to solve division problem. Okay? Thank you for listening. Bye bye.